He was the smoothest voice in West Coast rap, a superstar draped in blue, backed by Dr. Dre, and standing on the edge of a cultural revolution. But behind the platinum plaques and chronic smoke was a murder charge that could have ended it all. The world watched him walk free in 1996, but what if he hadn't? This is the story of what could have happened if Snoop Dogg was found guilty. In the early 1990s, the world knew him as the laid-back lyrical genius from Long Beach. With his silky flow, trademark drawl, and undeniable charisma, Calvin Broadus, better known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, was the voice of a generation. Discovered by Dr. Dre and launched into stardom with Doggystyle in 1993, Snoop wasn't just a rapper, he was a cultural force. But by 1994, the glitz was overshadowed by the glare of a murder trial. Snoop and his bodyguard, McKinley Lee, were charged in the shooting death of Philip Woldemariam, a member of a rival gang, outside Snoop's apartment. The media frenzy was immediate. Was this another gangster rapper proving the critics right? Or just a young black man caught in a system stacked against him? In 1996, after a long, high-profile trial, Snoop walked free. But what if the jury had said, guilty? The real-life event centered around the fatal shooting on August 25, 1993. Snoop and Lee were accused of pursuing Woldemariam, who was allegedly threatening them with a gun, and then Lee shot him. The defense argued self-defense, pointing to Woldemariam's gang ties and prior threats. The courtroom drama was intense. Johnny Cochran, the famed O.J. Simpson attorney, led the defense. Snoop's label, Death Row Records, backed him financially and publicly. Dr. Dre, Tupac, and Suge Knight were never far from the spotlight. The prosecution painted Snoop as a gangster, masquerading as an artist. The media painted the trial as a referendum on gangsta rap itself. In February 1996, Snoop Dogg and McKinley Lee were acquitted. He went on to release more music, reinvent his image, and become an icon. But let's break the timeline. February 1996, the jury returns with a shocking verdict, guilty. Snoop Dogg is convicted of second-degree murder. The court sentences him to 15 years to life at California State Prison, with eligibility for parole after 12. His face drops. Dr. Dre looks stunned in the back of the courtroom. Suge Knight whispers to his legal team. McKinley Lee is also convicted, receiving 10 years. Within 48 hours, Death Row issues a short statement. MTV and BET pull planned appearances. His upcoming album is shelved. The rap world is silenced, briefly. Snoop Dogg is taken into custody, shackled at the wrists, the world watching. In prison, Snoop becomes a legend, but not in the way he hoped. In 1996 to 1998, Dr. Dre distances himself, citing creative differences. Tupac, shortly before his own death, voices concern but admits, Snoop ain't bulletproof no more. Suge Knight, now juggling PR disasters, focuses on other acts like Thaw Dog Pound. Without Snoop, Death Row begins to unravel faster. Sponsors sever ties. No more Pepsi, no more commercials, no TV gigs. 1999, his finances dry up. His wife, Shantae Broadus, struggles to keep the family afloat. A few loyal friends, Warren G., Nate Dogg, Kurupt, advocate for his release but avoid controversy. 2001 to 2005, rumors swirl of Snoop being mistreated in prison. He writes lyrics and letters but is denied studio access. Pop culture starts to forget. A few references in underground mixtapes, a prison interview here and there. Meanwhile, a new era of hip-hop rises without him. Jay-Z, Eminem, Nelly, Ludacris all take center stage. G-Funk is dead. The impact is massive. Dr. Dre, disillusioned by the collapse of Death Row and loss of Snoop, leaves earlier. forming Aftermath a year sooner and focusing exclusively on Eminem. Without Snoop, the Chronic 2001 is never made. Suge Knight's empire crumbles faster, and he's indicted on additional charges earlier than 2003. West Coast rap enters a drought. The South and East Coast dominate the early 2000s. In popular culture, the anti-gangster rap sentiment intensifies. Politicians cite Snoop's conviction as justification for tighter censorship. Hip-hop becomes more commercial, less rebellious. No Drop It Like It's Hot, no Martha Stewart collaborations, no weed legalization advocacy from a mainstream figure. For fans, there's a Snoop-shaped hole in the evolution of hip-hop. 2010, while Snoop is paroled after serving 14 years. He's 38. The world has changed. He tries to restart his career under the moniker Snoop Redemption, a symbol of rebirth. But the market is cold. No major label wants him. Streaming dominates. The youth know the name, but not the music. He starts a podcast from his small studio in Long Beach. He speaks to young inmates. He tries a gospel project. A few former fans rally, but it's never the same. Occasionally, he'll show up on podcasts or underground tracks, a shadow of what could have been. His legacy, a cautionary tale, not of guilt or innocence, but of timing, culture, and how quickly the world moves on. In this timeline, justice came swiftly, but so did silence. A guilty verdict changed more than one man's life. It shifted an entire coast's musical trajectory. It stunted a movement that was only just beginning, and it left behind a lingering question: was justice served, or was a voice silenced? Comment, like, and subscribe if you believe justice delayed is justice denied. Next time, another name faces the truth.